Today, we're going to dive into the world of a 10th century Chan Buddhist master whose teachings, well, they sound less like wisdom and more like just bizarre riddles. But trust me, there is an incredible method to his madness. And it all kicks off with a really strange answer to a very, very simple question.
So it starts right here. A student asks what is probably the most fundamental question in all of Buddhism. What is the Buddha? A question about ultimate reality itself. And the master's answer? The thief is made by man. What? What on earth could that mean? It's jarring, it's confusing, and honestly, it's the central puzzle that we are going to unpack together.
No, seriously, think about it. What could that possibly mean? Is he calling the Buddha a thief? Is he saying the whole concept is some kind of crime? See, this is the kind of teaching that is designed to just short-circuit your logical mind. It's meant to. And by the end of this, I promise you'll see exactly why.
First things first, let's be super clear. This wasn't just some one-off strange comment. No, this was his style. This guy was an absolute master of riddles. Just take a look at these examples. Someone asks a deep question about the origins of Zen, and he starts talking about a carrying pole. Someone asks about meditation, and he quips that a foreigner can't speak Chinese. You ask him about teaching, and he gives you a line of poetry. None of these are logical answers, right? They're designed to deflect, to confuse, to point you somewhere else entirely. But where? To understand that, we've got to go beyond the words themselves. We have to look at the core philosophy of Chen, or as you probably know it, Zen. Okay, the absolute key to unlocking all of this is a concept called direct pointing. Chan masters believe that real truth, it can't be captured in words. It can't be figured out by your intellect. It's not something you learn about, it's something you experience directly. You know the saying, books and debates are just fingers pointing at the moon? Well, Yangqi isn't interested in the finger. He wants you to see the moon. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got your conceptual mind. It loves to label, to analyze, to think about things. It's always secondhand knowledge. But on the other side is direct experience, that raw, unfiltered reality of this exact moment. Yankee's riddles are designed to completely shut down that first column, to jolt you just for a second into the second one. And hey, this isn't some new idea he just came up with. In a story Yankee himself loved to tell, someone tries to trap the Buddha with this clever question about words versus non-words. So what does the Buddha do? He just stays silent. The deepest answer was right there, in that silence, before any words could get in the way. And the questioner, he got it instantly, saying the Buddha had just cleared his cloud of delusion. So if words are a trap, how do you actually teach anyone anything? Well, for Yankee, the answer was pretty simple. You use the entire world as your classroom. He was really a master of performance art. His teachings were dramatic, they were physical, and totally unpredictable. He knew that a simple action, or a shout, or a sudden gesture could break through a student's overthinking in a way that 1,000 lectures never could. And this was his classic toolkit. A monk would come up and ask some big, abstract question, and instead of answering, Yankee might just lift his staff, or let out a sudden shout, or maybe strike the ground. The lesson wasn't in the action itself, but in the jolt it gave the students' awareness, yanking them out of their heads and right into the present moment. His teaching staff was one of his favorite props, and how he used it is a perfect example of his whole method. He takes this totally ordinary stick, and then he declares that it has swallowed the entire universe. He's forcing his students to see beyond the simple label of stick and confront the bigger reality it represents. And he just keeps going. Now, the staff contains all of time, the past and the future. It holds the wisdom of every single enlightened master who has ever lived. I mean, he's using this wild hyperbole to completely shatter the ordinary, limited way we see objects. And then he delivers the final blow. He looks at them and calls the staff the Dharma body, which is a term for ultimate reality itself. He's not being metaphorical here. He's challenging them directly. Can you stop seeing a piece of wood and see reality itself right here, right now? It's a direct, shocking confrontation. All right, so let's bring this all together. What is the practical wisdom in all these strange methods? Really, it's all about waking up to the reality that is already right here in front of us. And now we can finally go back to that opening riddle. The thief is made by man. Okay, a thief steals something valuable, so what's being stolen here? Yankee is suggesting that our concepts are the thieves. They steal the raw, living reality of the world and replace it with a pale, second-hand idea. Even a holy concept like Buddha can rob you of the direct experience of your own true nature. The problem, the thief, is created by us. It's our own thinking mind.
And this quote shows you exactly where he locates the sacred. It's not in some far-off heaven or some ancient text. It's in the totally mundane layout of the monastery. The meditation hall faces the kitchen. Enlightenment isn't separate from your everyday life. It is all sacred. It is all right here. You know, after a particularly baffling exchange, Yankee would often say something like this: 30 years from now, you will realize it on your own. Just think about what that means. He's telling them flat out, I can't give you the answer. He can only create the conditions, the shock, the confusion that might just lead them to their own insight. Real understanding, he's saying, is a personal journey, and it takes time.
Which, of course, brings us to the final question for all of us. Yangqi's methods force us to look away from books and teachers and to look toward our own direct experience. So if the answers aren't out there in words, where in the world can we possibly find them? And he leaves us with this final beautiful image, this process of questioning, of being disturbed into seeing things fresh. It never ends. It's like a tree growing new branches every single spring. The journey of waking up is a living, continuous process, not some final destination. And maybe, just maybe, that ongoing disturbance is the answer.